How's it going, everyone? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. Today we have a new knife to check out coming in from Real Steel. While we get started, let us know down in the comments what your EDC is today. Now, this here is a new release for Real Steel right at the end of 2024 and right at the beginning of 2025. And this is going to be called the Viz. I will have this link down below in the description. And there are a couple of different variations of this knife. And glad to see that Real Steel is pushing out some new models throughout the year. In 2024, they had some great new additions to their lineup, and they also improved some older models. But in 2024, they had a couple of huge hits. The Hoft, that was one of my favorite knives of the entire year. That was more on the premium side, where the Viz here, this is going to be on almost, I don't know if I'd say ultra budget, but very, very affordable. And we're looking at a nice needlepoint drop point blade with a satin finish, and that's coming in 12C27N, which is a brother to 14C. Basically the same steel, give or take just a little bit, obviously, but for all intents and purposes, very similar to 14C. But in this case, they're able to keep the price down even more affordable than if this was in 14C. We are looking at some micarta handles here, and like I said, there are a couple different variations of this knife. And we have the Taco integral steel frame, which this looks like one of the best jobs on an integral frame that they have done. It's a little bit thicker, and I think that adds a little bit more to the knife in its aesthetics and in its ergonomics. You do have this large choil area here. Now, depending on how big your fingers are, is going to depend on how far you choke up in that choil. It's definitely a finger choil, but probably more of like a casual light duty. You're not going to want to be, fist grip on top of that, because you will be on that corner unless you have pretty skinny fingers. But if you have like an XL sized hand, probably going to want to be very cautious. But that's a nice place to just get that extra finger on the handle here, just for regular casual cuts. In that case, no problem at all. If I want to put my middle finger in there and do an index, perfect for that as well. So it's going to do what I need it to do personally. And we are looking at a tail mounted deep carry clip, and that's going to be reversible. So this is a completely ambidextrous knife. As far as the cutout goes, I like the placement of it, and that crossbar lock, they just get better and better. We checked out a Munin not long ago with the crossbar lock, and that was good, but you can just tell they are getting better and better. So let's get a length on this and see what we're looking at here. So just shy of 2.5 inches of cutting edge. I'd say we're looking at 2 7/16, 2.5 inches of total blade, and we'll give it 6.25 strong on its overall length. We'll put up a couple of comparisons here. We have the full-size Benchmade bug out and the Kaiser drop bear here on the bottom. And you'll see those are, I would say, average size knives. And this is going to be quite a bit smaller than both of those. And there's your full-size Kaiser Militaw up top and the Spyderco Para 3 on the bottom. And you'll see those are both quite a bit bigger as well. So what that is telling me with this knife, it is definitely designed with smaller hands in mind, someone who likes to carry a smaller knife, someone who doesn't feel like I don't need a 8-inch plus knife or what have you. I just need something that has the ability to make some cuts when I need it, right? That's what I'm getting from this knife, a fifth pocket type knife, a secondary knife. It's going to carry nice and deep in the pocket here, and they do a great job with their pocket clips. This looks clean in the pocket. Retention, in and out. Very, very good. We'll go ahead and we'll get a weight on this thing, but it does not weigh much at all. So I will be popping up some various things on the screen as the video goes on. Let me know that you like that, don't like that, don't know what to think, but I figured it'd be nice to have some things come up on the screen, specs and names of knives. Not every single spec or all that, but you know, throw 1.8 ounces up there on the screen, and we are looking at 52 grams. So very, very lightweight, coming in under that 2 ounces. Definitely would consider this an ultra lightweight knife here, in my opinion. Let's check these. Yeah, these are good calipers here. So let's see. 0.4, 0.44 for our handle thickness here. As far as our blade stock thickness, wow, under 100 thousandths. We're coming in at 98 thousandths there. So pretty thin, and it looks like it comes down pretty thin as well. Yeah, we're looking at 15 and possibly, yeah, 14, 13. Woo! So yeah, that's coming down there nice and thin. So we have a good thin blade stock coming down nice and thin. Let's see how it cuts right out of the box. We'll use our standard cutting stuff here with telephone book paper. Oh man. Yeah. People who've been around my channel for a little bit, they know I, maybe not the hugest fan of knives like this, but over the last year or so, I have really come around on having something like this with me, just because it makes sense. There's at this point, even if you feel like, oh, I don't want to carry anything with me, or I don't want to have to deal with that extra weight or extra thing, at this point, under 2 ounces, and with the ability that this knife has, very comfortable, very slicey, very pokey, a nice strong lock, and, pretty good ergos for the size of the knife. I mean, you could completely avoid that choil if you wanted, like I did in a couple of my cuts. It's not necessary. It is a 3-finger knife back here, but for me personally, if I'm just doing casual cutting, I'll be up in that choil all day long. So, one way or the other. This is going to be nice and pokey as well. Whew, that thing goes out there and gets nice and thin. Last thing we need to check here is going to be this lock, which I don't fear we will have any issues. It's pretty centered. Looks like it might be off to the show side, just a smidgen maybe. I could be way off there. We don't have a detent, so we don't have anything to worry about there. The springs are nice and strong. You can flick this bad boy out. You can slow roll it out. You could pinch roll it out, reverse flick it. You got the crossbar. So this will be a nice fidgety little knife right here. I like the micarta they used. It's fuzzy, but not too smooth. I don't know. It's a good balance right there. I like the color, and that'll darken up and take on its own character as this gets used and carried. Let's get the spine whacker out and see what this lock is made of. And we're hoping it is super hard steel, right? So let's see. We're going to make sure this lock isn't just going to slip off here. We have an uncoated blade, uncoated lock, so we should have a nice surface meeting up there. Let's go ahead and give it a couple of little taps. Close it, check it, triple tap, good, close it, open it. Very good. Knocking stuff off the table here. So, yeah, not going to have an issue out of real steel. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm a culprit of it in the past. I'm not so bad anymore with it. But I hesitated on companies like Real Steel, Off Grid, Rake and SRM and other companies like that. And they kind of all fall in the same category to me as some of the best value in the knife market when it comes to just wanting a cutting tool. You know, a cutting tool. And that's what a knife is. And it can be so much more, but there's people who are just looking for a cutting tool, a knife, and that's it. But stuff like this brings that to you, but then you have, it becomes a fun item to use and carry, right? With that crossbar lock and the smooth action. It takes purely a cutting tool, and it looks good, functions good. I like this profile. Out of all the small knives that I've handled, Baby Banter, Mylea, the list goes on, this may overtake all of those for me personally. The blade shape, the ergos, the materials, yeah. And then I'm willing to bet this comes in way under 50 bucks. The last time they did 12C27, the knife was like 35, maybe $40. So I'm willing to bet it didn't have my card. It was G10. So I'm willing to bet this is around 40-ish dollars. I will have it linked down below in the description along with a coupon code that you can use site-wide on Real Steel's website. You'll have to let me know. What do you think of the Viz here? And do you have or own or have owned anything from Real Steel? You'll have to let us know down in the comments what you think. Love hearing from you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. That helps push the video to more people, and I really appreciate it. If you are new to my channel here and you enjoy knife and EDC content, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe because I release daily videos just like this. I'll put a couple of new videos up on your screen that YouTube is recommending you go check out right now. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.